Hello, good morning. Good morning this Monday morning. We're having a Thanksgiving long weekend here in Canada, and I'm connecting from Kitchener, Ontario. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you have a lot, and I know you have a lots of reasons to be thankful, and so am I. And today, on this beautiful Monday morning, sunny morning here in Ontario, as I said, I wanted to connect and really do a video that I never kind of did before. I always talk about like maybe some product business or something like that, but today I really have a topic, not topic. It's just a broad general a conversation I want to have with you because I attended an event a couple days ago. There was a 3 day event. It was a business event. However, what I learned there, it's not only just applicable to business, it's actually applicable to life. And, after a few days, like some things really, really, stuck with me and they were eye opening and mind blowing. And I really have the need to share it because it's not, as I said, it's not just applicable to business, it's actually applicable to pretty much just life. And you know what? I'm not a public speaker, I'm not a motivational speaker. I have my notes that I was writing them down. Everything was just so crazy. So this might not be like the perfect thing for you to like listen to and like, oh my gosh, it makes sense. Things may be out of order, by the way, like they're happening in my head. But I'm hopeful that you can actually pick up some good tips from here and maybe, think about certain things in your life. And, if you improve even one little tiniest thing, I'm gonna be thrilled and happy about it. Okay, so the event that I attended was Rent Makers Live. So it's a network marketing event, business event, and it's usually it's happening once a year, and it's a live event in Florida. Due to COVID this year, it was a virtual event. So I could attend, right? I don't think I would go to Florida being 7 months pregnant. Maybe I actually would. I don't know, but it was really convenient for me that it was a virtual event now and I can attend. And to be honest, my hopes were not that high. I really attended most of it to be just like just pretty businessy like, and maybe not even that interesting. But to be honest, the whole thing just blew my mind. And you know what? What I realized throughout this whole thing, it's not just, when you're in a business, no matter what kind of business, um, it's not just about what you know about it, about the business, how to do the business, what's right, what's wrong, whatever. It comes a lot to the fact how you deal with yourself, and how, and in order to, when you like figure out your obstacles and what your issues are and you overcome them, it's then when you actually become successful. Because if you're still stuck with your own issues, and we all have them, when you're stuck with them, you cannot progress and you cannot move forward, and you may not be aware of it because you can maybe do the same thing your colleague is doing or your teammate is doing, exactly same thing every day. You do the same thing, and one person is successful and maybe you're not. It's because of the mindset. So few things I learned. There was so many good speakers, such a great training. I couldn't wrap my head around it. Like I would listen to it, and I'm like, oh my god, I wish I recorded this or write it down, or you just get lost in it. But I think it was good because I was just sitting there and soaking in. So this video will be a bit longer because of that. But let me go. There's few things that I think they're key to this, and I'm gonna share them with you, and I'm gonna try to do my best. Okay, so the first thing that I learned, it was on the first day, is permission. And that's in my title, and I think it's so important, is we're always by our nature seeking permission. Seeking permission to do what we want to do, or to just go on with the things that we want. And you know what? If we think we're not getting a permission, or if we're actually not getting a permission, and when I say permission, that means, pat on a back by your husband when you say, hey, I want to go into this venture and maybe do like home-based business or something. And what we need would be like a pat on the back and say, hey, go for it. I'm going to support you. And we do actually need the support. But what happens the most is like, oh sure, I support you, but make sure you still do your full-time job, so you bring income home and you take care of the kids and you do the whole, and you do everything like you did before. Everything has to be 100%, and then on your own time or on your own side, you do your little business, and then if you succeed, yay, good for you, and if you don't, I told you so. So that's that's not support, right? And a lot of women in business get that, especially if they're moms, if they're wives. That's what we get. We don't get much support. We get maybe something that looks like a support, but it's actually not. So the whole thing that I got from this is that we don't need anybody's permission. If we want to do something, we should just go ahead and do it. There's a lot of obstacles that come in life since we were young, things that people sometimes, we do this unconsciously, probably with our kids too, and our parents did it to us too. Sometimes you say to somebody, "Oh, you can't do that. Oh, how can you not do that?" And that sticks in people's head. And I wrote down here, like most of my life. When I was younger, I always thought I was not good enough to do something, or that I'm not smart enough to do something. I would wish something to do, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that too. I need to learn all this, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to. And that kind of just like, stuck with me, and I didn't proceed. So with this training, when I was listening to it, and that's all it, like, you always kind of subconsciously like seeking permission from your friends, from your families, from people around you. And that's what I did, right? So when I wanted to start my business, people probably looked at me, and maybe some of them didn't say it, but you can see it. Like, they probably think like, what's wrong with you? Like, you have a nice job, like you have a nice life, what do you want? Like, going into something that probably will not succeed. And this business is not really on top of everybody's list. People think it's a scam or whatnot, and people know a lot of people started that and don't succeed, so they kind of like already set it up for you. They don't believe in you, and you kind of don't believe that in yourself. So get over that. Stop asking permission from anybody. If you want to do something, go and do it. The most things we regret in life are the things we haven't done. So one day when we're old and sick and we're gonna be dying or whatever, we will regret only the things we haven't done, only the things we haven't tried to do and that we wanted them. We'll never regret things we actually did. Sometimes you did something, you learn from it, and you move on, right? So just do what you want to do. Number 2, great training was on day 2 by Tim Storey, and he was talking about setback and coming back. So all of us, we have setbacks in life, sometimes daily. So setback can be anything. You start going to work one day and you get hit by a car. Accident happens to you, stop working, or you stop doing what you were doing on a day before. You can't move on because something happened. Also, you, for example, get married. Your life changes. Like, you now have a house, you have different responsibilities, you get kids. So it's not actual setback, but it's called setback. So you're working on something. For example, you're in your business, you're working on your business, and then something happens. COVID happens. So for the people, it's like, oh, it's a setback. I kind of have to sit still, wait till it passes. And then when things get better, I'll move on with whatever I was doing. And that's completely wrong, because setback should only stop you for a small amount of time when you actually cannot do anything. But for us, it kind of tends to last longer. We kind of, like COVID, it happened. Yes. Still happening. Yes. Do we all just need to just sit back and do nothing? No. I expanded my business the most during COVID. The most. You just take what you get and keep moving, and that's when comeback is coming from, right? So you have a setback and then you have coming back, right? So just soak in the setback, understand what happened, and move on, right? Don't just sit in there in wherever you are, in a mud that you find yourself, and keep moving, right? Because if you stay there, comes one setback, second setback, third setback, and you're just stuck completely in your life without knowing how to actually even get out of it. So don't just let the setback completely stop you. make sure you keep moving on, right? Number 3, invest in yourself. So I don't know. A lot of people don't even invest anything in this. They never buy any new clothes for them. They just use whatever they have. They always buy for other people, for their kids, for their family. They just don't take care of themselves. And in this case, I'm not talking about your physical health. I'm not talking about stuff that you're gonna buy. In this sense, I'm talking about business, and I'm talking about investing in certain trainings, investing in learning more. Because you know what, this business that I'm doing seems so simple, or like you just like sell few products. It's completely incorrect. The least of my work is selling, so I sell minimally. What I do is I help people, and I help them in different ways. I help them to build business. I help them to get a stream of income that maybe they didn't have. I help them to leave their full-time job if that's what they want. I help them build a mindset. I help them believe in themselves and accomplish something from themselves if they weren't able to do that before, right? And I coach them the same way I got coached in the previous few days. So I learn, and then I help other people learn, and it's something that really inspires me and fills me with joy and makes me being thankful that I actually got a chance to do that. I never knew that this type of business would be so suitable for me. I never even want to hear about it. I never even want to start doing it because I thought it was all sales. And it's so much more than that. And to me, it filled my life to exact level that I wanted to be. It gave it a meaning in a way that I'm doing something that I love and that I'm not considering a job. So everything I do regarding my business is pure joy. I enjoy it so much and I love doing it, and that shows. People can see that I love it. I don't consider it work. And I never knew, like, if you asked me when I was young, what's your dream? I don't know, I want to be a singer. I don't know how to sing, but that was my idol. I thought that was my dream. I don't know what was my dream. I didn't know this is possible. I didn't know this is a thing. I didn't know, like, you never heard this. You're like, want to be a doctor, want to be a lawyer, or be an accountant. And you're like, well, like, I'll pick this. It seems like the least worst of the three. And you just pick something and you go with it. And then your whole life, you may resenting getting up in the morning and going to that job and just waiting for the weekend to start, waiting for your vacation to come. And it adds up to you being not very happy with yourself. And that also adds to other physical things that you can feel. So sometimes you just feel blah, and it's because of your mind, right? You're not happy, and your whole body just says like, I don't think I'm going to work today. Okay, so, and then the last one is be consistent and keep going. This was my major takeaway and my major issue. So I don't know if you knew, but 98% of the people don't finish what they started. Are you one of those? Are you? I'm that one. I started diets hundreds of times. I started working out hundreds of times. I go for 3 days. I'm like, nah, I don't do it. And that's when actually maybe a setback happens. So I do it for 3 days, and then I'm like, oh, I don't feel well today. I got my period, let's say. And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to skip the workout today and keep going. I never got back to keep going, right? And I'm sure so many of you are in the same position. I started so many things in life that I didn't finish. And it's the similar in business. You try working on something, you have your schedule, you have your task, you have what you want to do, and then you do it for a certain time, and maybe you don't get results that you expect in that time frame, and you start slacking and you start giving up. And generally when we do that, we were just about to see the results when we stopped doing it. So keeping your mind like that you have to be consistent in at least things that you really want, is crucial. So the way I plan to do this is I plan to make myself a little schedule for everyday things, like set little goals for the day. drink this much water, have some fruits and veggies, clean the laundry, take my kids to the park, do certain business stuff. And then I'm going to keep my goals small and reachable. And that way, when I do them, I feel accomplished rather than setting huge goals that I can't make it. I mean, I have two kids. I'm pregnant with a third. I have a family. I have a life. I have a business. I mean, it's not going to work every day. So if I set my goals too high, I may get up disappointed that I didn't finish them, right? So set my days with small goals, and reach them. And then on overall scale, set bigger goals and try to accomplish them. So be consistent is pretty much my biggest take away from it, because it's my biggest challenge. I don't stick to things. I generally get also bored with certain things. So I have to make sure that I make things interesting for me, that I make things, be motivating for me to go and do them. And I'm sure I'm going to make it. So I hope, even though this was like kind of a business live and maybe it was too long for you, maybe you kept scrolling, that's totally fine. But if you stick to it and if you watched me, I hope you got certain things from it. And then you relate to some of them and say like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I've been going through, or that's exactly how I've been doing things. And, with this few little tips and tricks, maybe you get to improve your life for like that 1%. So thank you so much for watching me on this Monday, Thanksgiving. We'll talk really soon again. I'm planning to be much more active. Now as I said, I set my goals. I set everything. I'm going to be accountable. I'm going to be showing up here more often. And thanks for watching, and thanks for all your support. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.